Yeah. So now I was talking on this Java advantages. Though, so the second one is like secure because of this Java virtual machine, and I will talk on Java virtual machine in coming topics. And so the other advantage robust, like it's more what we can say strong. So robust is strong. So
Mm.
there is a memory management, system is there, process is there. So because of memory management, so it is basically like Java is very strong. So what is memory management? So it what Java does, right? So there is a garbage collection. So garbage means like there's unused objects, like unused objects. Basically, like if we have any in the Java or JVM, so it will clean up those objects so that the memory would be available for new objects, like further objects. So that is why
Mm-hmm.
like Java is robust. Java simply means robust means strong. Java uses strong memory management. There are lack of there are lack of pointers that avoid security problem. There is a automatic garbage collection in Java. So that is why Java is very strong. There is exception handling. This is all I'm going to talk: exception handling, memory management, and all. Okay, you'll understand in detail. But this is like in a very high level. So because of garbage collection, so Java is so robust and strong. So that is why there is one more advantage. The next one is portable. Portable is like carry. I already spoke about this. So the Java like code can be transferred from one platform to other another platform, like from Windows to iOS, from iOS to like Sun Solaris. All this we can do. So that is actually called portable, and it is one more advantage. And multi-threaded. So last one is multi-threaded. So we can create threads like separate process we can create and make them work parallelly. So I will talk on this multi-thread also. So these are the advantage of Java. Java is like platform independent. So when you develop code in one platform, you can run and execute in other platforms. Java is so secure because of this Java virtual machine. Java is robust because of garbage collection. Java code can be portable from one platform to another platform. Java is multi-threaded. So that because of all these, Java is very popular, and it is actually it is used in many projects and applications currently. Any questions on advantages?
What's traded means multi-threaded.
Multi-thread means each thread, like one, if we have one program, like let's say one big program, if we have, it takes like in I'll tell you one example: bank auditing. So you know what bank auditing, right? Like usually they do auditing at quarter end, every financial quarter, like they do auditing. So
Mm-hmm.
for all the transactions, right? So bank auditing usually they have time constraint, like they have to complete it overnight. Otherwise, they cannot start the operations for the next day, like next quarter. So if we have any time constraint or like in related tasks, then we can create as multiple threads. Let's take like some, they have in a bank, they have like multiple account types, like they have fixed account, like they have savings account, and they have checking account, and they have giant account, multiple account types, right?
Yeah.
So multiple accounts, so they have multiple accounts. And each account, like what they can do, they can basically like if we have bank auditing process, it takes a lot of time. They can divide accounts into different like account types. They can create separate threads can run in parallel. Let's say one, this
Mm.
process actually 10 p.m. If they start, like So that time they will create multiple threads, and they can start parallelly this processing, and they can complete this process by early morning.
So can save
Yeah.
the data space,
Yes.
no?
Yes. 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 Yeah. That is called like multi-threaded. Multiple threads they can create and make them. So if they don't create multiple threads, so these all sequential processing. They have to first complete savings, then checkings, then joint account, right? All this like takes a lot of time. They cannot complete overnight. Okay, so that
Okay.
is why like multi-threaded. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Parallel processing basically. Parallel processing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So now what happens at compile time? This already I spoke actually. So this is the diagrammatic example, basically compiler. What it does at compile time, Java file is compiled by Java compiler, and it does not like, so it basically Java, I showed you, right? Like one program, print tables program, Java, when you try to run this, it will compile basically the code and convert as a bytecode or class file, which is like mission understanding code. Okay. So this set path and all not required if you use the Eclipse. It doesn't require this. Next one, you can ignore this. Okay, screenshot. And now I'm going to talk about JDK, JRE, and JVM. So these are all three components of Java. So JDK, let me write down here. JDK means
You will share with us this thing, right?
yes. I'm going to share videos also. You can go through.
Okay. Perfect.
Given already, but anyhow, put it there also. So these three are components of Java, and out of this JVM is very important. In the J inside JVM only, our programs are like all the Java applications run, and the compiled also exists in JVM. So now I'll talk what it is like, JRE. So if you look at the diagram, right? So this JDK, Java Development Kit, it's when we install Java, we will get Java with JDK and JRE folders. There are two folders. Okay, inside
Mm.
JDK we have JVM here inside. Okay, it will have. So when you install JDK, it's like when you install Java, you'll get the JDK. JDK will have JRE. JRE actually Java runtime environment. So that means it will have some libraries to run the Java program. So and then inside the JRE will have like JVM as well as some development related tools like Java C and a compiler. Like that means this is a compiler. Java C is nothing but. So it will have the compiler and JVM, JRE, and JVM inside Java Virtual Machine will have like lot of inside the internal memory components. JVM. Let me open the JVM. So JVM diagram did I put somewhere? No. Yeah, JVM is basically inside. We have JVM. What it perform multiple tasks. Like it loads the codes, verifies the codes, executes, and provide runtime environment. Like the JVM does. It only like convert Java code into byte code. Like whatever. So when you try to run this program, right? When you try to run this program, so the JVM will verify the code. Okay, this code whatever is written. That means if there are some any errors, compilation errors, it will not run this program. It will warn us like it will not run. Now when I try to run this program, right, what it does, so the compiler inside the JVM, what it does, it will warn us like compilation error it will show because this program is not correct. You didn't declare this I variable properly. So that is what like It says this compilation. It will compile the code, it will verify the code, and then it will convert into byte code. Okay, machine learning code, that is machine understanding code. That is called like that is part of JVM. And JVM, what it does, let me open JVM. It loads the code, verifies the code, executes, and provides runtime environment. JVM is very important, Java Virtual Machine. And as I told, JRE is runtime environment. JRE is having like JVM and other libraries for like which supports for JVM. And JDK is very outer layer. It contains JRE and development tools. That's about JRE, JDK, and JVM. It's all like inside when you install, when you download the Java, it will come all the three along with the Java software. Okay.
I see. So, question.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, basically, like error collecting, that way JVM, it's any errors like how to put it on the
Yes.
side and it's protecting the.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that's with JavaScript. We do error collecting, like when we have to put it part of it, right?
Yes. JavaScript, there is no compiler.
No compilers.
Yeah, because it runs directly in a browser, right? So there is no compiler in Java. No JavaScript. So Java, there is a compiler which verifies, which will warn us, like before we execute the program, execute the application, it will warn us. Okay, you can't run this program. There are some errors. Fix those errors. But in JavaScript, doesn't warn you. Like it will directly execute at the time of execution. That time only it will basically break the system. Okay, there's a disadvantage with the JavaScript.
So
So
I thought the V8 is not a compiler because JavaScript has
no,
V8.
there's no compiler in JavaScript. Directly you can run. So I'll tell you like let me go to an example. So let's take this one, right? This one. I can directly run this HTML code directly
Yeah,
inside the browser.
understand.
It doesn't
Browser.
require
Yeah.
any server or compiler. Yeah. Okay.
So
Now. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Salem. Now actually after this, right? eh, The programming starts. Actual programming concept starts. So far, what we discussed, the theory concepts are. Okay, now actual programming I'm going to start this. If you have any questions on programming, like variables, all this, like I'm going to explain loops, for loops, and then like if condition, all this program related. So you can ask more questions like in the programming, because so when we get the job, you need to write like a very complex coding. It's a very simple coding which I showed. You need to write the complex coding. So understanding basics is very important. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now,
uh, Now you say the disadvantage of the Java is not showing the errors or something.
No advantage.
advantage I say.
The advantage because it doesn't execute because it has a JVM is basically stopping to executing. It's like making has a garbage collector, right?
Yes, yes. So this will stop to run because let's take example like if you want to take this to web or internet, this application. Okay,
Mhm.
we need to make sure this works perfectly, right, with all scenarios, whatever they expect. Okay, so now we need to make this works perfectly. So with the bug, with the defect code, if you send to browser or like net, so users cannot complete the operations whatever they wanted. So that is a disadvantage, like so if you don't get any compilation errors. So now if since the JVM warn us to like fix this problem, we can complete the execution and put it in the web or like internet, so that a customer can access the application without breaking, like without any issues. That is the advantage, like with the compilation. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so now let's move on to next topic, which is variables types and the data types. So this in Java, what are the variables and data types it will support? Okay, now you know what is variable type, right? JavaScript, we have like multiple types. String we have number we have there in JavaScript, and all the data types we have, right? So the same like JavaScript, we have multiple data types in Java. Okay, multiple data types. So multiple
Primitive
variable.
and non-primitive, right?
Yes, primitive and all like number, all these like we have character, integer, floating, all these are there in Java. Boolean, character, byte, short, and all. I will talk about them.
Yeah.
And variable types. So data types is one thing. Variable types. What type of variables it support? Okay, there are basically local variables. Okay, local variables are there. What is local variable? Is a variable which is defined inside the function or method. You know what is function, right? JavaScript, what is function?
Yeah.
So the variable which is declared, you know what is function or method, or you want to explain?
Yeah.
You know, right?
Functional method and class method something.
Yes, class method, correct. Yeah. So the variable which is declared inside the function or method is called local variable. So the local variables, right? Let's take example like so let me go to some other samples what I have written. So now if you look at this one, this is one of the this is one of the method or function. So if you look at this index, right, this is a variable, integer, a number variable. This variable is declared inside this method and used only inside the method. This is called local variable. This is the local variable. You get it? What is local variable? It is declared inside the method or function. So the local variable scope is until the method executes this, then local variable leave. Will be alive, and it will basically it will be dead after this method execution. That's called like local variable. You get it? What I'm saying, or any questions?
I don't get it there.
You don't get it?
Yeah.
So now, right? So okay. So there are multiple variables. Okay, there's a class. Okay, there's a class inside. Let's take one class. Okay, so now so this is one of the variable. Okay,
Init is also like a kind of assigning, like a.
yeah, you no need to assign like without assign, anything is fine. Okay,
Okay.
so this is the class. So I declare one of the variable here, which is number.
Okay.
Is this variable inside the method or no? Tell me.
Inside.
Is this variable inside the method in any method or no?
Method.
Asking you.
There is no method here, right? So I
Yeah.
didn't put anywhere like inside the method. So this is
Inside
non-local
inside
variable.
class.
This is non-local variable. This is class variable basically. Class level variable or non-local variable. Okay. This number is non-local variable or class variable. And so this variable, okay, this is declared inside the method. What is the method? Find index is the method, okay, or function. You know what is function, right, in JavaScript? Okay, so the function or method, the variable which is declared inside the function. That means index. Here index is declared inside the function. Okay, so this is called local variable. And you cannot access this variable outside of the function anywhere. Like only this variable can be accessed inside the method. That is called local variable. So here index is the local variable, and here number is the non-local variable because it is not declared or defined inside the class inside the method. It is not defined or declared inside the method. That is called non-local variable, a class variable. This is local variable. Do you get it? What I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it now.
Okay. Okay. So, Selam, are you clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just comparing and seeing.
Okay. Okay. Now next one. So the second type of variable, which is instance or class variable. Okay, a variable which is defined inside the class but outside of the method. Okay, so now this is the example which I showed, right? This variable is declared inside the class but outside of all the methods, so the outside of the method, right? So this outside of the method, that's called class variable, it is called. So class variable. Okay,
Mhm.
so that is a second type of variable. And static variable. So there is one type of variable. This is a big topic. I will further topics actually I'm going to explain about static. So just remember, static variable is another type of variable, and this is actually it is a common variable for all the objects. You can just remember it's a common variable. I'll talk more about this in static class. So I'm going to talk more on this topic. That is a big topic. So you'll come to know what is static variable. But as of now, you need to know clear difference between local variable and class variable. That you already got it, right? What is local variable and what is class variable?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'll move on to next topic, which is data types. Data types in Java. So there are multiple data types are there. So there are like primitive data types and non-primitive. Primitive nothing but these are like required for any number operations, character operations under primitive. Non-primitive are objects basically. So Java is everything is object oriented. Okay, and let's check what are the primitive data types available. Okay, these are some hierarchy in Java. They actually data types are divided. Data types primitive, non-primitive. Non-primitives are string arrays. You know what is array? Array in I think JavaScript is there, right? So
Yeah.
the group of elements, array, group of the data, and string is the group of characters. So these are non-primitive. And primitive, if you look at it, inside the primitive we have boolean. Boolean is true false for defining like true false
Mhm.
flag. This right? I think we
Yeah.
both know. So and we have inside the primitive boolean as well as some numeric data types are there. So numeric is like character. Character is for single character, and numeric again we have integral. Integral again inside like integer and floating. Integer means whole numbers, defining the whole numbers, right? Like suppose if you have 1 to 123 number, if you have like 565 number, those are whole numbers. For defining whole numbers, this integer will work. There are some byte, short, int, long. These four are there. So these four are basically for defining whole numbers. So then you can ask question, why there are four they are given? Why can't only one? In JavaScript we have only one. There are no four for
Yeah.
numbers. So why four? Like I'll tell you why. So for each this each data has different range. So byte is very short range, and byte is very small range. Short is also the next range. Int is next bigger range. Long is a bigger other bigger range. I will tell you why there are four. I will tell you the logic also behind this. Okay, so and then we have a floating point. Floating inside we have float and double. This is for floating numbers. That means what is floating, right? If you want to define like 560 is a decimal numbers. Okay, decimal numbers. This for defining any decimal number, this float and double can be used. The again like float and double they have given it for decimals. This is for for range difference. So that's about this is a data type. So we'll talk in detail what is the range, each data type range. Okay, you got it right. There are mainly four categories here inside the primitive: boolean, character, integer, that means whole numbers, and this is for decimals or like non whole numbers. These four, do you get it? Any questions in the four categories?
And can you give like example of like byte short?
I'll give example.
Yeah.
But these four categories you understand, right? Inside I'll
Yeah.
explain Okay.
Yeah.
So now integer will talk byte, short, int, and long. Okay. So byte the default size is 1 byte, and short is 2 bytes, 4 bytes, 8 bytes. I'll give you example. Okay. Now how can we define these variables? So let's take example like in our printed tables. So let's take like if you want to, there are like there is a college. Okay, there is a school. Okay, there is a school where the school has only like maximum thousand students. Okay,
Okay.
1,000 students. Now when we are allocating like the numbers for students, how many you need? Maximum 1,000 numbers, right? Like uh, I can say byte, uh, byte student 1 equal to 1, id is 001. Okay, and byte student 2 equal 002. These IDs I am allocating now. Okay, so like this, we can maximum allow. We can allow only. It will allow only 1,000. That means, so if you know the student IDs, the range is very small. That means only the school can have, one of the school can have 1,000. So then you can use this for allocating the IDs. We can use this variable, byte variable. Suppose if you have college where you have like 100k students, 100k students, that means like 100,000, right? So this byte will
Mm.
not work because this size will not allow, it will not allow to you allocate 100k numbers. Then we have to use short, the bigger range. Short student 1 equal again like, so student 1 equals 001, and short student, no, not equal, okay, like that. Okay. Mm. This 10 100. So now if we have a some next range of school where it will allow 100k students, we can go for next bigger range. Like that we have int and double also. So the advantage, so you can ask me what is the advantage of these four categories we have: int, byte, short, int and long, right? Int also is there. Student some 20, int here double also. We have long. So the advantage is, right. So advantage of these four, byte, short, and for. So suppose assume that we are allocating like this long for byte, like a very small students, like small range of students. Then long will occupy a lot of memory, because in Java, any application, memory is very important. Okay, memory is very important. So if you know like for any range of variables, if you know that is very small range, we can use byte. If you know that's next range, we can use short. So if you know like it's kind of like medium range, you can use int. If you know bigger range, you can use long. This for memory management, memory saving only. That is why they are given four categories for whole number only. And the same way we have like uh, two categories for float. Float, how can we define? So if you have any like grade or like any average marks for students, small like small group of small range of the students, we can use what is the smaller range, smaller like type here, float. We can use float. Okay, float student average equal some 45 45.89. Okay, this is one of the way of declaring float. So then we can go for double. Okay, double is a bigger range. Student AVZ equal. So let's say bigger range, like we have a different like some 123 point some, this is a bigger range data. Okay, if we have, then we have to use the double here. So like this, for different ranges we have different like data types they given for like memory saving. This is all we are doing for memory saving. Do you get it, this concept or no?
Yeah, so do we have to define it when we use it? Is that what it is? Do I
Yes,
have
yes.
to
So
define it
mostly, right, in
if
real
it's by
time, yeah, most in real time we use this. For whole numbers we use this int. For for decimals we use the float. Okay, but this you have to know the concept. Like someone ask you like why we have four types. What is the purpose? Each one has different range. I'll tell you what range it has. So now if you look at byte, right? Okay, it will just support minus 128 to 127 numbers only. Max 127 you can define. You can't define more than 127 byte for byte. This will, so let's say if I put like 250 here number, it will not work. Byte will not support. See, now it is giving me error. Cannot convert. Okay, so now I cannot convert. So it is saying like it is already given complaint, cannot from convert into to byte. It is expecting like 250 to be int, not byte. So this is the range is 125 only maximum it will allocate. 125 if I put, it will allocate. Now it doesn't give me error, right? If I just put one more number, add, if I add, so it not 120, let's put 127. Okay, what is the range here? Let me check.
27 is the range.
Yeah, 127 is the range. Yeah, 128 we can put. That's correct. See, now it started giving error. You can't convert like this range. Each data type is the range they are given. So based on the bits. So short will allow maximum 32,767 numbers only. If I put short like 32,767, it will allow 767 32,000. It will allow. Suppose if I put one number addition, it will give now error. Okay, this is the range short. If you know like your numbers range is max 32,000, you can use short. Suppose integer, same way like integer also, what is the max up to this number, like some 2 million something, 2 trillion something. That is long. If you look at, is a very bigger range. It has lot of range, like I think it's for long. If you can use, it will fit any number, right? The same way float also some range, they again double also. This is for range. Range is for like memory saving. So suppose if we have one school where you have only like 100 students, I can use byte. This will save lot of memory. It will not allocate bigger like memory to this byte. Okay, and if we have like let's say some 20,000 students, then you can use short. So that is for memory saving. You get it, this concept? Any questions?
It's like a memory, right?
It's like a,
It's memory.
yeah, memory. Correct. Yes,
So the reason we define that in order to use the right memory.
right, memory. Correct.
So when we use this, those, for example, bytes, short, init, long, plots.
Mm.
So what kind of question is coming for us, for example, regarding those?
So if someone asks what are the data types you can use for whole numbers, you can say we can use byte, short, int, and long. Depends on like their range, but most of the times we use int. Int is like almost it will support like 2 trillion number, up to 2 trillion numbers. That is the reason you can use int for most of them. Okay, and if someone asks like what are the data types we can use for decimal values, then we can say float and double. Float is a big smaller range, and double is a bigger range.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. We'll move on. You'll see, like, many. See, just observe one program which I have written earlier. Just observe this. How many ints are there? There's so many int variables. Int here I declared
Mm-hmm.
index as int. This is integer number. Like there's integer also. Sum of milestones. You see many ints. That's what I say. Most of the time we use int only for numbers, for whole numbers. Okay, int is expected so out. Okay, and here inside the for
For
loops also
example, for credit card,
Hmm.
also int.
Yeah, for credit cards also int only, correct. So credit card number
Int, right?
also it is the maximum, right? It will not cross more than this. I think credit card
Mm-hmm.
also. No, we have to use double for credit card. Correct. Your question is a good question. So double we have to use. Sorry, long we have to use because credit card numbers. It is. I think it is like 16 digit, right? We have 16 digit.
Yeah.
So it will not fit int. For credit card number, you have to use long. Yeah.
Long or int?
Long only int maximum here it will support up to this number only 2147. This is the maximum number. So any credit card number is 16 digit, right? 1 2 3 4
16.
5 6 7 8 9 10 only it is supporting integer. We have to
Okay.
use long for that for the credit card.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Social security will be int.
correct, yeah. So
Yeah,
security
okay.
can be correct. Yeah. So that is about data types. Okay, now I think 2 minutes only left. I will continue next tomorrow, like control statements like Java if else and all. Okay, this will complete Java basics first topic. Okay, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Even I'll start next topic tomorrow. The next topic
Okay.
is going to be, let me open the syllabus. After fundamentals we can go with the constructor. This is also a very important topic, constructor. I will start constructor tomorrow, like what is constructor in Java and all this.
Okay.
Okay, I was talking about static, right? Static also one of the, this is the topic I'm going to talk, like static variable and inheritance with all these features. Yeah, you will be familiar once I complete this course, right? Another 1 month max it will take. You'll be familiar about backend coding, so you can start writing programs in backend. So then I think parallelly, if I do marketing, then you'll be good, like then
Yeah.
for getting the job. Yeah.
How long
Uh,
it takes now for to complete this?
1 month, 1 month, 1 week, something like that, 4 to 5 weeks.
Oh, okay, 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'll talk to you on marketing tomorrow. I already explained to Salem the process. I will talk to you tomorrow. Okay. On daytime, I'll call you and talk to you.
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you share us this the document?
Sure, I
Yeah.
will. I will share now itself after the class. Can you WhatsApp me the email ID? I have Salem's email ID. Can you WhatsApp me the email ID? I will share. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you share now in the Zoom
Yeah.
or?
Can you text me, like, so that Zoom? Yeah. Let me then.
I don't have your phone number, right?
Is ending. I will text. I'll ping you in WhatsApp. You can just revert me. Okay. After this call. So this Zoom meeting is ending in 1 minute. Okay. I
Okay.
will I
Okay.
will text you. You can respond me. Okay, for that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Good night. I will catch up tomorrow. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Good
That's it.
night.
Yeah. Good night. Bye.